Okay, so we have discussed retained earnings, global deposit receipts, American deposit receipts, meaning of debentures, and features of debentures yesterday. And if you feel any query there regarding these points, then you can let me know that. Otherwise, I will move forward then. Okay. So the next topic which we have to discuss is merits of debenture. So yesterday we discussed about the meaning of debenture, that if if company is accepting deposits or loan from the public, and the certificate which is given acknowledging that debt taken from the public is known as. So first point is, it is preferred by investors who want fixed income. So obviously I told at the time of when we were discussing equity shares and preference shares that there are different types of investors in the market with different mindsets. One investor is there who wants to take high risk, who want to become owner of the company. That if I will take high risk, I will also get high return also at the same time. So, but there are certain investors who cannot take that much risk now, who don't want to take high risk. They want low income, but it should be known to them how much income they will be able to earn, and that should be stable also. So the investors who want investing their amount in debentures of the company, because their rate of interest is fixed, it is clearly mentioned after how much time the money will be returned every year, what certain, and security is also there. That's why they will prefer to invest in debentures. So this is an advantage from the investor's point of view. Then second point is, debentures do not dilute the control of equity shareholders. Now, control of equity shareholders is not diluted with the because of the debentures. Why it is not diluted? Because only equity shareholders have the voting power in their meeting, and they are the real owners of the business. They will decide each and everything for the company. Debenture holders can give the money for the functioning of the company, but they cannot get any right, or they don't have any right to participate in the decision making process. First thing, they don't have any voting right. They cannot interfere in the working of the company until and unless their money is at stake. If somehow the money is at stake, their representative may sit with the directors, but otherwise they do not have any control over the assets of the company. So the control of the equity shareholders remain intact, and they get money also. It is just like, you can take the example of proprietorship, like you have started your business. So you are the whole sole decision maker for your business. Even if you are taking loan from any bank for the functioning of your business, even then bank don't have any right to interfere in your business. Bank will not tell you what to do and what not to do. Bank has its own concern. Bank can ask for the safety measures, but it cannot interfere in your decision making power. Now the third point is, it minimizes the risk of overcapitalization. Now, how it minimizes the risk of overcapitalization? See, suppose I need rupees 100 in my business for proper functioning, and somehow I have rupees 130. Now, what I will do then? If I am having extra money at any point of time, then I will return the loan. I can return the loan before the due date also. I can return the loan before the due date also. So, if I am feeling at any point of time that I am having extra cash, I am having extra amount which I don't need for my business, I will be simply returning the amount of loan before the due date. That I can return. I am free to do that. But I cannot return the equity share capital. So that's why it is an advantage from the company's point of view that it will minimize the risk of overcapitalization. Because if the capital will be overcapitalized, means you are having funds more than you require, then it will remain idle and you will be not able to generate proper amount of profit on that fund because you don't have any use of that fund. And in certain circumstances, it can also be misused for the purpose which is not legally authorized, which is not um, permitted by your articles of association or memorandum of association. Then fourth merit is it interest on debenture is a tax deductible expense. Like I told you yesterday also that it is a legal compulsion that you cannot deny payment of interest on the ground that you don't have any profits or you are not earning profits. If you have taken loan, you have to pay the interest. It is your legal responsibility. It's legally compulsory. So interest is a you may have even loss due to the payment of this interest. Dividend is something that we will pay only in case of profits, but interest we will pay even we are not having any profits. So legally, it is allowed that interest is treated as your expense, and you can reduce your income for the amount which you have paid as interest. Yes, please. All the four merits are clear, or if any doubt is there, any point which is not clear, let me know. Okay, now the next topic is limitations of debentures. So, what are the drawbacks of debentures? First is interest becomes a permanent obligation of the company. See here, the advantage is that you will always get a deduction from your income of the amount of interest paid on debentures. So, it will help you reducing your income, and when your income is reduced, obviously your tax liability will be less. That is an advantage. But at the same time, the interest is a permanent cost. Means till you pay back the amount of loan, till you pay back the amount of debentures, it is legally compulsory to pay that interest, whether you are having sufficient profits for that payment or not. So that is a burden on the company. Then second is debentures reduce the borrowing capacity of the company. Obviously, uh, each and every one has a borrowing capacity. So company is also having a limited borrowing capacity. Now you have issued debentures, you have already borrowed the money. If you need somehow more money, you cannot go for further loan. No one will give you loan. Why? Because you don't have that much assets to give as security. You have already furnished your assets as security to the debenture holders. So how you will be able to arrange the fresh loan? And your income might be not that at not that level that you will be able to pay interest properly or pay the amount on time back to the lender. So more and more debentures you are issuing, more and more borrowing capacity is reducing. Debentures have to be redeemed on a specific date. Now, on a fixed date, you have to redeem the amount of debentures. So you have to remember that date also. That time may come after 5 years or after 10 years, after 15 years, it may come. So you have to remember that date, that on this date we are supposed to pay back the amount. And you have to arrange funds on that particular date. You cannot make even one day late the payment. You have to be ready in advance. Debentures are issued on the security of assets. So your assets are also kept as security for the payment of debentures. If we compare debentures with the equity shares, company is not bound to pay any amount of equity share capital back to the owner. It will be paying back, but it is not legally bound. Same way, interest is compulsory to be paid, but dividend, again, company is having advantage that if profits are there and funds are there, they will pay the amount of dividend. If profits are not there, they will not pay any dividend. They are not required to pay any dividend. So if we compare with the equity shares, there are certain disadvantages with debentures. Okay. So I hope limitations of debentures are also clear. Now the next topic is difference between shares and debentures. So as compared to shares, shares are owners fund. They are the real owners of the business, and debentures are borrowed funds. Debentures means you have taken loan from public. Status: shareholders are the owners of the company, and debenture holders are the creditors of the company. They have to collect their money back after a certain fixed period. Dividend keeps on fluctuating. It is not fixed. Dividend is not fixed. As the income will grow, dividend will also grow. If the income will go down, dividend will also go down. So that's why it is a fluctuating factor. But interest amount is always fixed. That you have to even tell in advance how much rate of interest you will be giving per year to the lender. Nature of return: so shareholders will get always dividend, and debenture holders will always get return in the form of interest. Security of assets: so in case of shares you don't need to give any security of assets, but in case of debentures you have to create a charge on the assets of the company. You have to furnish assets as security for the debentures issue. Shareholders have voting rights, but the debenture holders don't have any voting rights. And last point is redemption. So if you want to see, redemption means repayment of the amount. Now equity shares are redeemed only at the time of liquidation of the company. So at the time of liquidation of the company means winding up of the company or closure of the company. If you are having funds, you will also redeem equity shares only and only at the time of liquidation of the company. But the debenture holders are redeemed after a fixed period. So uh, after 5 years or 10 years, whatever tenure you have given, after that time you have to redeem the debentures. So this is all about shares and debentures. I hope these topics which we have discussed till now are completely clear.